Sup guys, welcome back. Today is going to be another, I guess it's part 3 of answering your questions. And I don't know why I just moved the screen. I had it lined up perfectly to the last question that I didn't answer. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's going to be above. But yeah, so before I get into it, I appreciate all the support. Really, you guys are awesome. Even me putting out silly videos where it's just like walking in a park and I'm talking to you guys. You guys still love it. And I do appreciate all the support. Yeah, whatever. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. Let's get into the video. And it's going to start out with what's my favorite MRE. I actually didn't think about this one. I would say, ooh, yeah. Okay, there was this Taco Bell one. I forget what it's called. Shredded beef. Shredded beef was amazing. And there's also, I mean, obviously chili mac is good. If you get the hot sauce, if you get the Tabasco, sometimes it's not in the chili mac. If you can get it from somebody, put it in there. Best MRE ever. I'll be honest, I like all MREs basically. I enjoy all of them. There was this one that was like sausage and this white gravy, and it was it was delicious. And really, anything's gonna be delicious when you're in the field and you're hungry. I promise. So that's my take on it. Favorite MRE, all of them. What types of officers are in the Marines? I mean, officers. I don't know. They're chill. I already told you it's it's pretty chill. Martinez is asking, hey, I was wondering what kind of hearing protection do artillerymen get? I don't know. I wasn't artillery. Not sure what hearing pro they get, but I'm sure they have a lot of people that within their unit are like, okay, you gotta get this one, because I know in the infantry it was like, oh, you guys all have to get right in the rain books, and you have to get like the little sleeve for it and stuff, and we all got it. So I'm sure there's little artillerymen that give them suggestions on which ones to buy from the PX. So definitely not the standard ear pro. Definitely not that. By the way, keep it up. It's great. Appreciate Martinez. I can't decide between Navy or Army. Ooh, okay. Yeah, so Navy or Army. It depends, like, what job you're going into, but I would say the Navy. It seems cool, but, like, see, I wasn't in either of those branches. I don't know many people who are in either of them, except for the corpsmen. So if you're looking to be a medical personnel, I would say I side toward the corpsmen. I think they're awesome. So Navy. But other than that, I don't know much about the Navy or Army. I want to join the Marines so bad. Get it, man. Then get it. Where are the M27 at? I don't know what that's in response to, but yeah, the M27. I wasn't an M27 gunner. I was a 203. I was the Grenadier, so I had the 203. What nationality, race are you? I don't know, white. No. What I am, this is actually interesting. I'm Bulgarian, and really, I'm like 10% Bulgarian. I'm like 40% German. Got some Czech in me as well. I don't know. I'm pretty much everything. Is it gay if you keep your boot bands on? No, it's not. What's Firewatch like in boot camp? Ooh, good question. It's from White. So boot camp, or the Firewatch in boot camp, it's gonna be like 1 hour, or before you even get into bed, you're gonna have the scribe, who's like, he's not a squad leader and he's not the guide either, but he's the scribe. And what he does is he writes down things for the guide. He's basically the person for the guide. What he does is, like, every night when we're on our liberty, like our 45 to 15 minutes sometimes, just writing letters time, he'll just go around the squad bay and he'll tell everybody, he'll just go down the line and he'll just like say, like, oh, you have Firewatch from here to here in like an hour. And then once you're in Firewatch, basically it's an hour of the night where you have to stay awake. And the worst Firewatch is the first Firewatch and the last Firewatch. Anything in between, usually pretty good. But yeah, so Firewatch, it's basically, they'll make you count things, and you have to just stay awake during that time. You have to stand at post, and you have to be ready if the drone strikers do come in to the squad bay at night, which sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. If they do, you have to report your post, which means like, sir, this recruit, like, counted blah 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 blah, and it's like a whole like thing you read off of. They'll give you like even a placard that you can read off of for the first 2 weeks, but after that you have to have it memorized. You'll get it memorized. Just make sure to put in the time. But yeah, it's basically just an hour of the night where you stay awake and you count and stay at your post. So there's 3 people that have to be awake. One's at the front of the squad bay, one's at the back of the squad bay, and one's the rover, which means you're walking around. And a lot of times the rover will just kind of try and sit down or something. Just like they'll try and skate, which means like just try to get out easy. But sometimes they get caught. So make sure if you're a rover, just do your job. Any guys you went to boot camp with who were family men that had kids? Yes, a lot of them. Actually, the scribe was a family man. There's a lot of them. I would say, if you want a ratio, 20% or so are married men with kids. There's a lot of them. For a lot of people, it's like that's what they always wanted to do, and other people, it's like that's the last thing they can do. And it's just a better life for their kids, so they'll join the Marines and get them housing and stuff, You should do a reaction video on my bad USAF experiences by Onision Speaks. I remember that guy from like 10 years ago. I might do one. That'd be funny. I remember he got out early too. I remember. The guy's a bitch. You don't get out early at the USAF. Come on. How do you become a squad leader, and what are the pros and cons of it? Well, if you're talking about boot camp, you become the squad leader just by taking charge. It's going to be up to you to be like, all right, like, you're going to have to raise your voice, and people are going to have to start, like, listening to you. There's natural leaders, and that's how they're going to let the leaders come about. And then after about halfway through boot camp, they're going to have it settled. So during the first couple of weeks of boot camp, the guide is going to be switched off from person to person, and just to see which one fits the position best. And same with squad leader, they're going to be doing the same thing. But about halfway through boot camp, they're going to have it settled, and it's going to be settled that first squad leader is Doyle. And Doyle was awesome, and it made sense that he was the squad leader. So just take charge. But other than boot camp, ITB is the same. Or SOI, whatever you like to call it. And then there's also in the fleet, at least in the infantry, being a squad leader it's not by merit, it's by rank, which sucks. Mine switched off a couple times, but one of them, the first one was perfect. He was awesome. He was a combat vet, good to go. But then as our unit got bigger, from just newbies, people coming from my squad leader ended up being the one that I left with, was part of the silent drill team, but he was a sergeant with no deployments, and he was technically infantry, but he didn't do any infantry shit. He just marched around with a rifle and did all the fancy stuff that civilians clap for. So he was my squad leader. He was a douchebag, and he didn't deserve the role, but because he was a sergeant, that's how it was. So sadly for the fleet, it's going to be not so easy unless you have the rank. Don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. Pissed you guys won't let me in. Oh yeah, that was the guy I was talking to from the previous video. Just like, he was pissed that they won't let him into the Marines. It's looking like it's pretty good. Talking about maps. Now I'm at like the maps comments, and I was 11 Bravo. Oh yeah, this guy's badass. Sonny Sinclair. I don't know if you subscribed or if you're gonna see this, but the guy's badass. He was in the army for 4 years, but he was a scout sniper. He's like everything. It's pretty cool. And then the last question, the last notification I have from YouTube is, hey, how hard is it for a foreigner to join the Marines? I don't know. I'm not a foreigner, so I didn't have to go through that process, but it must have been easy enough because we had a lot of people in boot camp who ended up getting their citizenship as soon as they graduated boot camp. There's a lot of them. A lot of people in my unit ended up getting their citizenship by it. My friend Kim. Oh my god. This guy, South Korean guy, ripped out of his mind. I don't know why he joined the Marines, but I love that dude. He was he was on the opposite side of boot camp, like in our squad bay. if I was standing here, he would be standing like 10 feet directly in front of me, and he used to laugh so hard, and he used to just like pretend he was coughing and shit. Yeah, he would just be like laughing the entire time, and I had to look at him and like try not to laugh, and it was so fun. But yeah, that guy, he got his citizenship. I mean, there's a lot of people who got their citizenship, so there's definitely a way to do it. So that must not be that difficult. So guys, that is all the comments. I appreciate you listening in again. Make sure to comment some more questions. Appreciate the support. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.
All right, 2 or 3 up.